Hi everyone, welcome back to another Semper Metallum Interview. My name is Cole, and today we have some very special guests that will be joining us to discuss their new release. Would you guys like to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Damien and I do vocals.
Yeah, my name's Jack and I play guitar.
Austrian metal outfit Diesect just dropped their new EP on May 30th, Hide from the Light, and it has been a EP that I have been jamming non-stop. And I just wanted to ask you guys a few questions in regards to the production of the EP, what it means to you. You guys have an upcoming tour, a lot of exciting themes ahead. And to kick it off, so your new EP, Hide from the Light, has a very haunting title, of course. What does it mean to you guys personally, and how does it reflect the themes or message behind the music?
Well, I guess to answer, I kind of got to start with how it all started. I wrote Hide from the Light as a demo. It wasn't even intended for the band actually. I think back in late 2022 or 2020, early 2023. And just wrote it, showed it to a few people, and they were really into it, and I kind of didn't like it. I was kind of I'm not too sure about this because it's really different, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I kind of came up with the title just when I was in the demo phase of writing it. And then I think as we wrote it out and fleshed it out a bit more and got to the end, and I kind of came up with the concept of Hide from the Light and Suffer in the Dark. And I guess for me, the overall meaning of it is if you choose to hide from the light, you in turn will suffer in the dark. And it's kind of meant to be a mirror sort of theme, I suppose. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the overarching theme and what it kind of means to me. So yeah.
Damien showed me Hide from the Light around maybe around that time, 22, 23. I wasn't in the band at that point. And then once I heard that song, that made me join the band. So
pretty understandable.
Yeah, that was the song that got me on board. So from that moment, we worked on the rest of the EP together. Yeah, I guess we were just trying to match the vibe of the lyrics as well with the instrumentals. So super dark, super heavy, chaotic, almost like a spiraling into darkness. I guess that was kind of the goal.
It really is. But I think something that makes the EP just so easy to listen to over and over again is the final track of the EP, which I feel typically some EPs would be organized a little differently, where maybe the ending would actually be There Was Never Light, where it kind of has that slow, kind of almost bitter descent. But I feel you guys almost weaponize the end of the EP with Suffer in the Dark. That really makes it so refreshing and makes it feel it came more full circle, if that makes sense. And of course, there's so much nuances in the lyrics. There's so many ways you can interpret it. Even one interpretation that I've been trying to almost deconstruct in my head is almost interpreting the light as an individual, and kind of exploring that. There's just so much nuance in your guys' music, and with that aggressive and very distinct sound on this EP, what really influenced the direction of this sonically compared to your earlier work?
I think for me, I remember driving to work one day actually and had this kind of epiphany. Me, Jack, and then so Jaden, who's kind of the fifth unofficial member of the band. We all produce and make trap metal and kind of come from that kind of production background. And I was kind of why are we pigeonholing ourselves into being a band? And that way, I mean, being guitars, drums, bass, vocals, we can do so much more than that. So why don't we do that? Yeah, it was kind of why don't we all just, come together and make something and not feel we need to sound a certain way or anything like that. Let's just have fun with it. There was so many times, I think, when we were writing it and stuff, that we would just be laughing at what we made, especially when we made There Was Never Light. I personally felt guilty with that song. I was are we really doing this? You know what I mean? So I think it was just about, for me, just getting back to having fun with it and not feeling we need to do anything a certain way. And I think that's kind of what just happened with it. So
yeah, I think we tried to break, I guess, the barrier or the stereotypes of what the kind of genre was, I guess.
Yeah.
Or tried to do, kind of something a bit different. If you see the stems, the actual band component is probably, the least amount. If you see all the post-production, all the sound effects going on, there's hundreds of tracks there. All little things, but it adds to the overall sound, I guess. And yeah, trying to mix different genres, trying to mix different sounds into something new, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I feel like something that is so great about, other than just the incredible production that builds such a great atmosphere, especially compared to your earlier work, being able for you to see you guys almost not feel pressured to say, okay, we need a very eye-popping or ear-catching, like riff, something that's super technical and advanced. You guys kind of know when to let the lyrics or the atmosphere take the, spotlight. Was there any like intent behind that you guys want to, really focus on the lyrical meaning more of this EP?
I think for me, it kind of just like happened like naturally. Like the lyrics obviously started dark, like with the like riding high from the light first. It's actually something I've thought about a lot, like in terms of like the lyrics and stuff. I'm kind of like, they really just happened, naturally that way. I just wrote them. And then personally, when I write just a lot of just bullshit chugs and zeros and nothing really like, it's very guerrilla shit,
Yeah.
So I just like kind of how I think I kind of approach writing naturally. Whereas Jack's a way better guitarist than I am. So but then I think, mixing like the production in and stuff, like, I think I remember when we were writing some of the songs, like, we were listening to like Humanity's Lost Breath and like Vulgata.
You're just like me, for real.
Like, that was for me at least like a big inspiration in terms of like getting like that massive, like kind of menacing theme going on. And so.
And you guys definitely have that experience of, between songs, it's not just like fast-paced go and go. Like in the middle of the EP, you have these moments where it's very ambient, it lets you breathe. You have like more bass that comes into the mix. It's super diverse.
Yeah, I came from definitely like a technical background when it came to, writing. Like my writing style back then is very different to what it is now. And I think what I found, is like less is more in some cases, but finding all those like ear candies and stuff to kind of replace, a crazy riff or something hectic going on, put that more into the production. And I think that kind of, crafted like something different for me when it came to the writing, for sure.
I love that. Less is more. It's a very important lesson, not just for musicians, but, any art form. And with that, idea of the, writing, recording process, was there a particular song that you feel really pushed the band creatively or even emotionally?
I think like musically, like one I always think back on was when we wrote the instrumental for Suffer in the Dark together, especially the intro. Like that sample that plays in the start and then also like rounds out the EP at the end. Like I remember just like this tiniest little like click of a sound that we found in another sample, and then we just sat there and played with that, and it became that drony noise that it is. So like for me, like things like that where we're putting together these kind of like weirder sort of patterns and stuff like we normally would, like with our previous stuff, never normally do. So I always think back on like Suffer in the Dark and the writing process for that. And then another one would be like Too Many Scars, because like that was the first one me and Jack ever wrote together. And like it was just super fast paced, like not something again like I would normally be used to, because I'm used to like, stupid beat down chugs, Yeah, I still remember when we wrote the breakdowns of that in the middle, and we're always at this point where we're like, we'll write something and we're like, what comes next? We just kind of get stuck there. And then I remember sitting on the guitar and just doing the chug pattern, like the dun 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 dun, and we were like, that sounds stupid, but let's try it. And then we recorded it, and we were like, I think that's kind of cool. So I think instrumentally those would be the ones for me. And then lyrically, I think Suffer in the Dark, because I think it just really rounds out the entire theme of the EP and brings it home. I like some of the lyrics in that song, like that's probably some of my favorite lyrics I've written. And I think they're super dark and, pretty like hectic and stuff. But like, I look back on those lyrics and they're probably some of my favorites. So
yeah, I'd say, Too Many Scars would be the one that kind of, started the train, I guess. Like Hard from the Lap was kind of already written. So we were building kind of off that sound as an example. But even if you look at those two songs as a contrast, they're pretty different in terms of, I guess, like instrumentally, but also fit within the same vein. And yeah, that was like kind of the first song that me and Damien wrote together. So yeah, like that was probably a standout for me. And then everything next kind of rolled off after that.
Yeah, I think something that's so great about the EP is Hide from the Light, the intro track, really sets great framework and expectations, what you're going to be experiencing narratively, thematically, and also with your style of music. And I feel like that's kind of like 101 on how to start an EP, an album, you name it. A lot of bands, I feel like, more just sometimes create songs, organize them the best they can, but you guys really had such great structure and flow between the songs, and that goes just such a long way, and it really made the EP feel more, polished, refined, and definitely focused. There's a lot more precision, I feel like, this go around for you guys, and it worked very well, I would say.
Thank you, man. It's like super sick to hear that like the track list flows well. Like it's something I'll be like tripping about all the time. Like when I listen to it in the car, I'm like, did we do this right? So like it's really like cool to hear that it does flow well.
For sure. And it is rare that I listen to this EP in one go unless I'm stopping my car or doing something else. It's something I listen to constantly, man. And I would say, like you mentioned lyrics, dude. Shura, I hope I pronounced that song correct, the title of it. But man, there's only bones in the shape of me, nothing but a shell, and nothing more you can take from me. There's only bones in the shape of me, nothing but a shell, and nothing more you can take from me. Guys, that's genius. Like they're something simple. Like it's not like this. Almost like. This isn't bashing Silent Planet, but like it's not like the super poetic and like overthinking in like terms of lyrics, but something that's so simple but says so much, and it really follows the idea of less is more. And I just think that is so great with everything you guys sought out to do. Don't overcomplicate it, and don't try and outdo yourself in certain areas, because everything just feels more balanced in that way. Is that something that you guys were feeling through the process of making this EP, that you're able to balance different aspects of the creative process easier?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and first off, like, thank you so much, by the way. Like, that means a lot. Like, it's super sick to me, like, when I think, like, lyrics get, like, noticed, So, again, thank you. Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said earlier, like, in terms of, like, giving it time to breathe from the vocals, and, like, then letting the instruments and, like, the, ambience kind of take over and stuff, that kind of, like, came pretty naturally and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the lyrics like overall complemented the sound of instrumentals like pretty well, to be honest. Goes hand in hand super well. Like they're both kind of on that vein of like less is more, but put them both together and it's like just the right amount, I guess. Yeah, I think it works out super well.
Yeah, I love that. And this next question is kind of a shift because everything's been talking about the production, the EP itself. But you guys recently announced that you'll be doing your Hide from the Light tour come August with special guests Graphic Nature, Dark Matter, and No Life, which I just got to say, I am pissed that I don't live there, because Graphic Nature and Dark Matter are some of my favorite bands, and also bands I talk about a lot on Semper Metallum. So anyways, how exciting is it for you guys to headline and be able to play these songs live?
Super exciting, man. Like, I personally can't wait to play Suffer in the Dark live, especially the breakdown in the middle. Like, I've been thinking about playing that live for like nearly 2 years now, so I'm super looking forward to that. And just, yeah, super looking forward to seeing Graphic Nature live. Like, I'm a huge fan of theirs. So like that they're coming here and like, joining us on the tour, to me is just still like so crazy. And I'm so stoked about it. But like, I'm so scared because I'm like, damn, man, how are we going to follow that? You know what I mean?
I feel that, they're definitely, they're an awesome band, but you guys are killing it as well. So
thanks, man.
Jack, how about you? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good tour. Like, it'll be the first time that we've been able to play like all the songs on the EP live. So that'll be a really good moment. And yeah, obviously playing with Graphic Nature, and it'll be really cool to meet those guys, play with them, watch them every night. And yeah, Dark Matter. Love the Dark Matter boys. Like, we get along with those guys really well. Yeah, I think they're super underrated. They deserve a lot more spotlight, but yeah, they're great.
I'm super jealous. I wish I was gonna be there because like those are all my favorite bands. Anyways, and I did want to say, I bet There Was Never Light. I feel like that's sometimes a song that people might overlook, but I feel like that is almost like the penultimate song of the EP. That was kind of the moment I mentioned in my review where, before I heard that, it was kind of that moment where I was like, yeah, these guys are incredible. But that moment I felt was like almost maybe like genre or band defining, because that was just coming full circle of narratively what you guys were saying, along with just, wow, the breakdown and EP of that is, or like the riff of that is unreal. Like, I can't even imagine how crazy the audience is gonna go when you guys do that song.
Oh, man, super looking forward to it. Hey, like we've played There Was Never Light a couple times now. We kind of tested the waters with it when we toured with Throne earlier in the year, and yeah, I think it was super cool playing it when it wasn't out, especially. We ended our set with it, and obviously no one, I guess, was expecting it or whatever, and it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
It is a little bit, yeah, because like you're listening to it and you're like, wow, this is a masterpiece, but it's just like it's so out there.
Yeah, man. Again, like I remember, like genuinely, like when we did it, like we were all here in the studio together, which was cool. And like I was sitting here, like just being like, man, like should we do this, bro? Like I feel a bit, I feel guilty, like but I'm super stoked we did, because yeah, again, it goes back to like what I was saying earlier, like it's like the epiphany, and just saying like fuck it, like why shouldn't we do it, so
yeah, it goes back to that, not putting like limits on things we were doing. It's kind of like anything's possible really that we wanted to do, and yeah, especially playing that song live. Every time we've done it, it's just crazy reactions. Even before it was out, people kind of didn't know what was coming, and then when it hit, yeah, people were just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard that, I literally had goosebumps, and that's when the second I started writing my review, I'm like, yeah, this deserves, a massive review. But I did want to shift a little bit. I do have a question more for Damien, but there is such a raw intensity in your performance in the EP. How do you tap into that energy both in the studio and on stage?
It's hard to say. Like in the studio, like I really just try to like give it my all in terms of like the vocal performance, but like not just trying to scream it or yell it or whatever, but really just like trying to like, because like say you're performing live or whatever, you're kind of pacing yourself and you're doing your thing and you're kind of just, doing vocals, right? But like in the studio, I really try to like, super like get across that emotion or whatever you want to call it that's being portrayed or whatever. I know that might sound weird. It's really hard to explain, I guess, but I really just try like give it like my all in the studio to like, and really like focus on how I'm like delivering certain parts or pronunciating the words and how I'm kind of making like it sound like it's tearing out of my throat and like, you know what I mean? Like just really going out like that. And yeah, like live as well. Like for me, like we've played a lot of shows and done quite a good few tours now, and I still get like pretty nervous before we play. I think for me, it's like I'd like to say I'm a pretty chill person, and before we like play and stuff, it's like almost like this like few hour long to like 10 minutes even sometimes, like this shift where I have to go from being like just a chill guy to
yeah, I was just thinking like the meme, like you're just a chill guy.
Yeah, I'm a chill guy, dude. I gotta go up there and do that, like you know what I mean? It's nerve-wracking for me. But yeah, like at some point, like I guess like that shift kind of happens, and I think like the nerves and stuff like play into like the adrenaline of it, which then like feeds it and stuff. And yeah, like it's like it's really hard for me to explain because it's a really good question, but like, and I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But like somehow, somewhere it happens, and I'm just stoked that I'm able to like tap into it in some way and get across like genuinely like how I might express myself without that sounding weird,
No, that makes sense. And with tapping into that energy, you bring such like a diverse sound to the EP, especially like I mentioned, Hide from the Light, the opening track, sets the tone for everything, and I love that you hit going highs, lows, even hitting like those mids. Like you set like your range so we know what to expect. Like that's how you like almost create that pilot of the EP. It's so good. Yeah, you have some gnarly vocals, dude. I was listening to the EP again last night and this morning just to stay refreshed, and every time I hear Hide from the Light, like that intro, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like when you hit those lows in that first like verse, my God, it unreal. But this actually kind of helps caveat into a question I didn't know if I was going to be able to get to, but you said like you have to kind of go from being a chill guy to having that like tone. For both of you guys, is there kind of like a go-to tradition for you or the band, before like performing on stage? I know some artists eat like a certain food, a workout routine, meditation, you name it. Is there anything for you guys that you do?
For me, so like I have to do like a vocal warm-up like pretty religiously. Like shout out to David Benitez real quick, because I remember when we just started as a band, like I would just sing a couple songs like and do some humming and then just rock up to band practice and just go for it. And then eventually like that led to me just kind of like hurting my voice a little bit one day. And then that's when I discovered David Benitez. And since then, literally every time now, like that I do recording, practice, shows, I do his like 20-minute warm up that he has on YouTube, like religiously. I can't not do it. I also feel like, something bad's going to happen, I guess. So, it's that. And then if I'm feeling like a little bit extra like nervous, like I'll have like a shot of vodka.
You're just like me, for real.
Because I've heard that warms your voice. So that's kind of my ritual, just that mixed with a fair bit of anxiety. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think mine's a bit more simple. I'll just have plenty of water, leading up to the show, and then also have no more than 2 beers, but maybe 1 beer. Just take the nerves off a little bit. But it's just about getting into that mindset of this is about to happen, making sure I know what I'm doing, and then kind of going from there.
Just staying chill guys.
Oh brother, this guy stinks.
It's very important.
Literally, yeah.
I'm gonna like tell our editor Chris to like put the chill guy meme on the thumbnail or something.
No.
Make a wild edit. But I do have one final question for you guys. For bands just discovering Diesect through this release, what do you hope they take away from Hide from the Light? Not just musically, but emotionally or philosophically?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but like I really hope that people can like, if they have the time, like listen to the whole thing. I think that's where like that's when you kind of get it, in my opinion. Because like listening to it, like and you're hearing There Was Never Light, and then that's not the last song, and then there's Suffer in the Dark, and then it all makes sense. I feel like if you listen to like say There Was Never Light, and that's the first time you've heard us, you'll be like, oh, this is kind of stupid and I'm not really into this potentially, you know what I mean? But like it obviously varies from person to person, but like I think that like people can just like have fun listening to it. If it like resonates with them like lyrically, like that's amazing, because like that's a big thing for me. And so like I think there's like something for everyone in there in a way, with it still being heavy as hell. But like like in terms of like if you like trap metal, like then there's something in there for you. If you like just stupid heavy breakdowns, then it's definitely for you. So I just hope people can like listen to it and like just enjoy it, because to me, like, and I know a lot of the guys in the band as well, like this is like by far like our favorite thing we've ever made, and I think it's the best thing we've ever made. So yeah, just hope people can like really give it a go and like enjoy it as much as we do, I suppose. So yeah,
I hope people go away from the listening experience looking forward to more music, really. Because we've been working on some stuff in the background here and there, and like what's coming after is it's different, but we're also very excited about that too. And I think this is a great like turning point from the band, sound wise, from the original stuff. Try not to put too many barriers on what Diesect sounds like, or what we can do. And I think this is like just the start of that kind of iceberg that we've touched. So I think if anything, like looking forward to the future is probably the great thing to take away from it.
For sure. And the EP is only 17 minutes, I believe. That's an episode of South Park. That's a YouTube video. And most importantly, make sure people listen to it in order of the track. I know sometimes shuffle is a very tempting thing, but I always try and remind people, like, bands work super hard on organizing the set list. What songs play when, and this EP is especially important because of how everything flows, and it's amazing. And I just love that all the EP tackles is trauma, stages of grief, questioning oneself, having that kind of shame and regret, but trying to find acceptance in who you are and everything. It's just it's really incredible, guys. So just thank you for creating such an incredible piece of art, not just music. And just remember, it's not just breakdowns. Like, your music is having impacts on people. And we've gotten DMs, we've gotten comments about the EP, and everyone loves it. I've shared it with friends personally, and just getting messages back 20 minutes later saying, dude, that is sick. Like, that is, on the level of Knock Loose. Like, I'm being told some people's favorite EPs. Like, it's really incredible, guys. You should be insanely proud, especially with the incredible marketing and branding you guys have. And as you guys know, Semper Metallum is a big fan of good marketing and branding. So that's something that was instantly appealing to all of us, especially.
Dude, thanks so much, man. I can't tell you like how much it means. Like, all the support, like, you've given us on this EP, and all the kind words. I just can't thank you enough. Like, it really does mean a lot, especially like you noticing like all the little things about it, like, because there's just so much, I think, in it that potentially could not get noticed, and I think you have. And again, like, comparing it to A Tear in the Fabric of Life is huge for me. Like, I listened to that EP, I think, like 4 times today.
Yeah.
So, like, it means a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, I have OCD and anxiety, so of course I overthink. Also being prior military, so I notice a lot of those little details, maybe more than most. And I don't know, some people might say I'm overblowing it saying Tear in the Fabric of Life, but to me, I think it's on the same level, especially when it comes to production quality, which is a big deal because that's knocked loose. And also just, a lot of music I feel like is made for certain people, and this really dropped at an important time in my life where I'm trying to find myself and have a lot of feelings about myself and where I am in the world. And the fact that you guys are able to create something that commentates on, giving into that darkness, that the idea of giving up or letting something take control of you, but still find a way to persevere and have that just moment of reflection of your self-worth is something that is just deeply rich. And there's so many ways you can interpret it. It's not just lyrics that are face value saying, oh, I'm sad, I'm pissed, I'm depressed. Like, you guys really actually tackle that. You're not just mentioning it, and that's something that just don't lose that. That's so important. Have actual meaning and weight behind your lyrics and your music like you guys are doing, and this momentum is never going to end, for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Like, it really, like, touches my heart personally, knowing how much work we put into this album, and something that we're so proud of, like, has translated, and so many people have gotten behind. So many people have enjoyed it. There's been so many great comments, and the support's just been crazy since it's come out. So, I think it's, probably the best result that we could have hoped for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Heck yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys want to say to those who are watching, and also make sure to at your socials as well in that process? But
I mean, like, to anyone who's listened to the EP, like, thank you so much for checking it out, especially like if you're new to the band. Like, it means the world. Like Jack was just saying, like, seeing it get like received so well by like quite a few people, it's like just amazing to see, because like we've worked on it for so long. And like, we're looking forward to the future. So like, this is just the start, like Jack was saying. So like, just, hopefully you keep with us and enjoy the new stuff we got cooking. And thank you so much for everything.
Well, guys, thank you for joining me today. For those who are watching, listening, you name it, please go check out Hide from the Light by Diesect. Absolute masterpiece. And if you are in Australia, make sure to go see them on every tour date live come August. I'm super jealous still, but thank you guys for joining me. It means a lot. I'm happy to finally meet you guys.
Thanks for having us, man. Like, we really do appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.